The janitors at work haven't cleaned off my whiteboard ever, as far as I can recall. And I know that because up until yesterday, it still had artwork drawn on it by a student worker that I had who worked for me in 2018. Last week, however, I wrote "Let's Go Brandon" at the top of the board, and when I came into work this morning, the whiteboard was completely erased. And I wanted to talk about why "Let's Go Brandon" is perfect. The media gave us "Let's Go Brandon." It was some reporter who claimed that those who were expressing their disaffection with Joe Biden were chanting "Let's Go Brandon" because there was somebody at that race named Brandon, and that's what they wanted it to be. And "Let's Go Brandon" has now become a substitute for an otherwise vulgar phrase that we won't mention. It's brilliant because it isn't our idea. It was given to us by someone who thought they were being terribly clever. It's a word they came up with that we can now repeat, and they can't say anything about it because they're the ones who created it in the first place. The second way in which it's brilliant is that it isn't not vulgar. The words it replaced are sufficiently vulgarous as to invite ire from anyone who uses them. In truth, when a similar phrase was used about President Trump, it drew ire from his supporters because it should. The use of vulgarity is usually an indicator of a small mind. And so "Let's Go Brandon" becomes a non-vulgar way to express something that everyone knows what it is. To use some other parallel examples, I have picked up the following phrases from the Looney Tunes Bugs Bunny cartoons: Dagnabbit and Rassafrassin. Everybody knows what these words mean. They have no actual direct correlation to other words that we use, but they are recognizable as words that express disconcerted consternation at a circumstance that I find aberrant or abhorrent, without providing any of the normal vulgarities, while still attracting the attention of those who might hear it. So "Let's Go Brandon" is not our idea and not vulgar, and so it can be repeated ad nauseum. It is also, finally, an incredible barometer or litmus test, since I'm a chemist, if you'll forgive me that, of other people around you. Apparently, the janitors who work here know enough English to know what "Let's Go Brandon" represents. It's a way to communicate with everyone, and for them to communicate back what they believe. If, as I suspect, the board was erased in order to get rid of this particular phrase, it tells me that these janitors have a different political opinion than those who like to repeat the phrase "Let's Go Brandon." So I put it back on the whiteboard, right up there under my "Oh Canada" sticker, in the hopes that in the next day or so, the janitors will erase it again. Because right now, that's the only thing on the whiteboard. And so if it gets erased for that, it will tell me it's something they don't want to see. We work at an institution of higher learning where the free exchange of ideas and everyone's allowed to express their opinion is something that is touted by the administration. I know, and you know, that that's a load of hogwash. But if this person continues to do it because the janitors are not actually employees of the college, I will have these individuals removed. This is my office. This is my whiteboard. I have never asked them to clean it, nor have they ever cleaned it until last night. And I was here yesterday, and because I have two offices. I was here in this office yesterday, and everything was there. And I came in this morning, and it was completely blank. So, you have no business touching my stuff in my office. And if you're cleaning my whiteboard because it has a phrase on it that you don't like, then you need to find another job. Because whether I believe it or not, this is a great barometer of who you are and what you believe. Because if I put a "Let's Go Brandon" bumper sticker on my car and it got vandalized, that would tell me those people hate that particular belief so much they're willing to vandalize private property because they assume that that's what I believe in. There are lots of these litmus tests that I use in my life, whether I believe in them or not, to gauge the behavior of the people around me. Because what people think about your decor, how they respond to it, tells me more about them than my decor tells them about me. They have assumed, because this is written on the board, that they know everything about me that they need to know. And if they have erased it, and if they erase it again, it will tell me everything I need to know about them, because they have jumped to the conclusion and cleaned it away, and it's my private property. This is, yes, this is the school's office. And yes, the things in here are technically under the purview of the school. But the things that I put up there are things I put up there. And they have no right to remove them unless I ask it. It's funny because in the classroom, which is behind the wall right here, they will sometimes not erase the board at night, but they came into my office and erased the one in my office, which they have not erased for over 3 years. In fact, it was so hard to erase, I was going to clean it off myself about a couple months ago, but the artwork that was 3 years old was so hard that it wouldn't come off with any of the cleaners I have. So they came in here with a heavy-duty cleaner and removed everything to get rid of the one thing. So now there's only the one thing. This is my scientific experiment. If it disappears again, and it disappears again, I will go to their supervisors who do work for the school and say, if they continue to mess with my private property, then they should be removed from their position. I have a right to put whatever I want on this board in my office, to express my own opinions, to share my own ideas, to propagate my beliefs. This is my office. You do what you like in yours, and allow all men the same privilege. Let them believe and hold to whatever they may. As long as it's legal, ethical, and moral, what's the problem? And Let's Go Brandon fits all of those. Whether you believe it or not, it is a very interesting metric of the people around you. Let's go, Brandon. And by the way, I really do feel that way, in case there were any doubts. Godspeed, good luck, and may God bless America. May God bless you.